Okay, welcome to Salvation Road, part 3, blind playthrough. We are... Oh yeah, the last thing that I wanted to show was the location cards. There are these old Polaroid things, and they have a lot of locations. What it basically means is that this puts you in the mood, and this is a counter of the threat. And the threat starts at 0, and depending on the game progress, the threat rises. And how it's there's a let's see, and the threat is how many extra dice you have to roll for the threat dice, it's called. That's these dice, obviously, they give 1 wound or 0 wounds on the white ones, and 1, 2 or 0 on the black ones. You have to use the white dice first, but sometimes they get used up in something, and then you have to continue with the black dice. Yeah, so amount of dice that you roll, and that is how many wounds you are distributing, or the game distributes. So this is apparently more safe than it takes longer to become dangerous. So +3. And this you see here also the radiation hazmat. No, it's not a radiation, it's a hazmat symbol. These 3 are taken out. They don't play. You don't play them in the easy mode. The normal game, so the official game says that you have to draw 1 at random, and then shuffle in at least 2 others from this deck. Yeah, so let's see. So there is some kind of extra effect by the location, and you play just a few of these locations. So this is also a little bit varied. So I don't see the argument. By the way, I also did this with Karmara Pro on the carton. I don't see a lot of repetition. The wound tokens are a bit of a bitch, because you have to place them face down, but the thing with these tokens is that you don't really have a good way to place them face down without knowing what they are. And if you take 1, it is a wound on your character, and at some point in time you can either discard it without knowing what it was, and otherwise it can become something else. Not really sure what this icon means. Are they described somewhere? Let's see, we have discard, injury, there should be some kind of iconography, but maybe it is on the back or something. It's, I think, not that important right now, because you have to shuffle them anyway, but yeah, here it is. So the stuff that can be a wound. So it's a critical wound. If it is a +1, it looks like this. Immediately take a new face down wound token. So that's pretty bad, because if you had this, then you draw this, and then you have to draw another of these things. This means stunned, and the character can become delayed. And if the character is delayed, If it was already delayed, then you take a face down wound token. So you can really there is some kind of a growing tension in the game. And this is a sprained wrist. It beats me how this is a sprained wrist. But you must drop one resource and place it in the location supply or in the truck if you're on the compound. Oh yeah, these locations you can hide stuff in the location to come back and retrieve it later. And then there is painful wounds. The effects of this wound are dependent on where the character is located. Characters at a location card must increase the threat of their location by 1 space if able. If the characters but characters at the compound must instead add a single marauder to the fence. So, as you can see, this is a fence, and you are placing marauders. Let's first shuffle these things the proper way. So I think this is the first thing that you have to do when you're setting up the board. So this is how I would do it. So I would take all the face up things and leave the face down ones. Okay, and then shuffle this again until you have until they are on the floor. Somewhere. I'll have to look up later. So this is kind of the fastest way to not know what everything is, and I think I need a bag for this. But you're supposed to place it on the newspaper, and yeah. What do we need to do at least? So you take the location card deck and remove the 3 recon locations, but we are doing... there was a guy on social media that said that he wants to have at least for a first good impression of the game flow, to use the following options. So it's the biohazard location in the box. Biohazard. Yeah, so the biohazard location. That's one of these. These are the biohazards. So put these in the box. That's locations, by the way. Put the black dice back in the box. You can do that as well. We only have white dice. Satellite of Love is in effect. So Satellite of Love is... You are auto-mapping the road to salvation. So we have to place the road cards. We draw 1, 2 road cards. 2 because we play through solo. Put them on the top. This goes back to the box. And what more is in effect? Apocalypse Now is in effect, so you flip over the top Apocalypse cards at the start of each round. So we know that our first game we will have to suffer acid rain. Yeah, so this is also for one person. So for true solo it would be a 2. Each character must drop a resource or discard a resource from the supply. We cannot drop a resource because we have time still. Where is the apocalypse? Oh, it's here on the side. Okay. Then you shuffle the remaining location cards. And draw number of location cards each equal to the number of players, and then you shuffle the recon, so it's a number of players plus 1, so you effectively take 2. I don't know which one, so let's take 1, 2 for true solo. Keeping it face down, place the other 2 cards back in the box. Yeah, that's the biohazard. You should now have a number of face down location cards equal to the number of players in the game plus 1. Okay, so that's 2 in our case. Threat dice, threat markers, location use markers to the sides of the board. There should be 1 threat marker and 1 location use marker. Oh yeah, the location use marker is if there is a unique location. There's a unique location text on the bottom of these location cards, and there is a marker that signals. Yeah, there's a marker that signals that it has been used. I'm not really sure when the overrun happens, but that sounds pretty bad.